Well, hello again. Welcome to Cambridge, a warm welcome to the SWaMP, and welcome to another in our flight of video guides to managing relationships. In a previous series, we put SWaMP to work to advance professional objectives. For example, to move your career as a manager to a higher level, to make money for business owners and shareholders, to drive income for charities, or deliver votes for ambitious politicians. Here we put SWaMP to work as a tool for managing personal relationships, your relationships with other people, and possibly with your inner self. Videos in the Brand Me series are about friendships, how you see yourself, and managing how others see you. They're about identity, self-confidence. Of course, a SWaMP which manages personal relationships will vary from a SWaMP which manages professional relationships, but all SWaMPs have much in common. SWaMP is always an acronym. SWaMP always describes a set of tools, a toolkit for anyone who seeks to manage relationships to their advantage. Every SWaMP guides a process in which perceived value is built in an object. The object, animate or inanimate, is managed as a brand, in which the value is stored and sustained to the benefit of the brand owner. Every SWaMP gets the designated brand recognized as more valuable than it would otherwise appear. The end game of every SWaMP is brand loyalty. And every SWaMP toolkit builds brand value by ferreting out what makes the object special and sharing that specialness with others. So, every SWaMP toolkit builds on a value which is already there in every established brand, but not fully exploited. Enough theory. Let's get to work. Let's put SWaMP to work on building the value of Brand Me. S is for set objectives, W is for weaponize, A is for advertised, M stands for measure progress, and P is for position Brand Me on a ladder to brand loyalty. Let's flesh that out a bit, okay? But before we start on the main SWaMP show, there is a prequel, I for identify. If a brand is to have value, it must have value to or for somebody or somebodies. Before you start, you must identify a target, anyone with whom Brand Me is likely to have a relationship. But he or she or it must be identified before you start. Okay, target identified. Let's go to work. S for set objectives. If you don't know where you want to end up, you won't get there. You must have objectives for any project, personal or professional. How many objectives? You can set as many or as few objectives as you like, but for building any brand, there are two must-have objectives. First, you must get any brand which you manage perceived by its identified target as offering value. Value is what SWaMP is all about. Objective 1, be recognized as valuable, special. Second, you must work to coax targets into what is best expressed as loyalty to any brand you manage. You may never get them all the way to loyalty, but that is the end game. More loyalty, more value. Objective 2, eventual loyalty for Brand Me. And write the objectives down. No excuses. Your smartphone, tablet, laptop will all do, paper even, but do it. Next, W is for weaponize. Now, how do we get there? How do we reach those objectives? Sadly, no brand is going to get where you want it without a fight. Life is tough, and there are always barriers. Opposition, always competitors. Brand Me must have the weapons. Weapons to help us vanquish the enemy, see off competition, and reach objectives. This may be a bit over the top, but you do get the point. Brand Me needs to be weaponized, or it will perish. So W is for weaponized. Which weapon or weapons? As many weapons as you wish. But you cannot move forward without at least one weapon essential to building the value of the brand. You must have a strategy. Sounds dry and dusty, but a strategy is a must. Objectives tell us where to head for, but not how to get there. A strategy is what tells us how to get there. Stop global warming is an objective, but how? What's the strategy for stopping global warming? Reduce carbon emissions? Develop alternative sources of green energy? Both possible strategies for stopping global warming. Objectives good, cooler globe, but no strategy, hot planet. Got to have a strategy. What is our strategy for building the value of Brand Me? Strategies without end also may present themselves depending on the precise objectives, but there is one which must always be there. The must-have strategy for any brand, including Brand Me, is a strategy of differentiation. Brand Me must be seen as different. If Brand Me isn't seen to be different, it won't be seen to be special. If it's not seen as special, Brand Me will have no value. So Brand Me's key weapon is at least one must-have strategy. A strategy to be seen by your targets to be different, special. Write it down next to the objectives. Brand Me's strategy is to be seen by targets as different, special. Okay, I hear what some of you are saying. Brand Me is not different. It's not special. But of course you're wrong. Every offering is unique. Every Brand Me is special. The trick is to find the difference. It's there. A wise manager of brands once said that when he interrogated a brand, any brand, it would always confess to its strengths. Get interrogating Brand Me. The specialness is there. You can find it and you can build on it. So we have written objectives to build brand value and coax targets into brand loyalty. And we weaponize Brand Me with a written strategy to differentiate. Now you execute the strategy by saying you are different. To be seen as different, Brand Me has to crow. I'm different. I'm special. So A is for advertise. Well, not perhaps as you might expect. Advertise is in italics and lowercase, so you don't think it's necessary to go out and hire an advertising agency and spending megabucks on TV spots. By all means do it if you can, but you don't have to. Advertise comes from a Latin word to have people notice. Advertise just means having your targets notice Brand Me. And, of course, execute your strategy of differentiation every time without fail. Every time you message, in ads, on websites, in emails, blogs, on invoices, receipts, in conversations, on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Zoom, say, here I am, I'm different. Every chance you have to say, Brand Me is different, take it. And don't forget to say it over and over to yourself, to family, to colleagues, employees, the boss. M is for measure Brand Me's progress, measured against objectives. Get Brand Me recognized as offering value to its targets. How am I doing? Get Brand Me seen to be different, special. How am I doing? Coax targets into loyalty to Brand Me. How am I doing? Ah, yes, loyalty. How do we answer that one? How far have I got to persuading my targets to bestow their loyalty on Brand Me? I need a measurement of progress to loyalty. And SWaMP has one, a ladder. We've come to the last letter of the SWaMP acronym. P for positioning our targets on the loyalty ladder. So what is the SWaMP loyalty ladder and how does it help? Well, it maps the journey from nowhere to loyalty. From ignorance of Brand Me's very existence to the idea of loyalty to Brand Me. Stage 1, ignorance. No brand awareness. Never heard of Brand Me. Brand Me has no value. 0. Stage 2, awareness. Heard of Brand Me, but know nothing about it. Stage 3, knowledge of something about Brand Me. 4, positive attitude to Brand Me. Now that's better. 5, intention to engage with Brand Me. Might be planning to go on a date with Brand Me, have a beer with Brand Me, maybe planning to go to a gig with Brand Me. Sadly, intention to engage doesn't always result in actual engagement. To move seriously towards loyalty, we must move on to stage 6, real engagement. The date, the beer, the interview, the social engagement, the gig with Brand Me has taken place. Then if all goes well with engagement, comes 7, satisfaction with the experience. And that can lead to rungs 8 and 9, repeat engagement and sustained satisfaction. And in due course, nirvana, stage 10, loyalty. We made it. To measure where a target sits on the ladder to brand loyalty, just situate each target on the rung you've brought them to so far. To position them on the next rung, use your weapons until you've coaxed them all the way up to loyalty. And that's it. Set objectives. Weaponize with a strategy. Advertise differentness. Measure your progress against objectives and position your targets on the rungs of the loyalty ladder until they reach the summit. And that's all there is to SWaMP. That's all there is to building Brand Me. No, of course it isn't easy. It's hard work, turning theory into practice. Managing relationships is hard. Building Brand Me is no soft option. But follow the steps and it can be done. Need an example, a case history? Probably yes. Come back and join us for just that by clicking on the link to playlists and videos. Meanwhile, thanks for watching and take care of yourself. As the managers of L'Oreal, now there is a great brand, would say, you are worth it. And they're right, you are. Brand Me is worth it, for sure. See you soon.